Most gardens begin with hope, but survival gardens begin with a quiet seriousness that lives beneath the soil. They are gardens built not just for beauty or convenience, but for security, stability, and peace of mind. In difficult times, whether from rising food prices, unstable markets, unexpected emergencies, or seasons of uncertainty, having food growing just a few steps away becomes more than a luxury. It becomes a lifeline. You begin to understand that each sprout represents resilience, each harvest a small victory, and each plant a reminder that no matter what storms come, life continues to grow. Welcome to Daily Plant Life, where we show you how to create gardens that support you, nourish you, and carry you through the moments when the world feels unpredictable. Today we're diving deep into 12 crops that have been trusted for generations to sustain families, communities, and entire cultures through difficult times. These crops don't merely survive hardship, they thrive in it. And once you learn how each one grows, you'll see why survival gardens have relied on these plants for centuries. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and prepare yourself for a journey through the most dependable crops you can grow when times get tough. Crop number 1, potatoes. Potatoes have earned their place in history as a survival crop, not by chance, but by their remarkable ability to multiply quietly beneath the soil. When you plant potatoes, the surface remains calm and unchanged for weeks, and you might even wonder whether anything is happening at all. But deep below, the plant is building stores of food, creating tubers that will become one of the most calorie-dense harvests you can produce in a small space. Potatoes don't ask for much, just loose soil, steady watering, and time. They grow in grow bags, buckets, raised beds, and even old containers that you thought had no purpose. Their leaves rise into a lush green canopy that masks the abundance forming underneath. The beauty of potatoes lies in the reveal, that moment when the plant begins to yellow and fall back, giving you permission to dig into the soil. As your hands brush through the earth and your fingers close around the first firm tuber, there's a feeling that goes beyond gardening. It's a feeling of relief, of reward, of knowing you've grown something substantial. Potatoes are dependable, forgiving, and nourishing. In difficult times, they provide comfort and calories, forming the foundation of hearty meals that satisfy hunger and strengthen the body. Crop number 2, beans. Beans are the workhorses of survival gardening. They sprout quickly and grow with a sense of urgency, almost as though they understand the importance of their role in your garden. Pole beans stretch upward eagerly, twining around supports and climbing into sunlight with graceful determination. Bush beans stay low and sturdy, forming neat mounds that burst with clusters of green pods. Every pod holds seeds, and every seed holds the promise of another generation. Beans don't just give you vegetables, they give you protein, fiber, and sustenance in a form that stores beautifully. Fresh beans bring crispness and flavor to your meals, but dried beans become something more. They become a long-lasting reserve that can support you through long winters, shortages, or uncertain periods. One small handful of dried beans can fill a jar, and that jar can feed a family. Watching beans transform from delicate blossoms into swelling pods feels like watching nature gather strength. When times are difficult, beans provide both fresh abundance and pantry security. They are a crop that cares for you far beyond the growing season, which is what makes them indispensable in any survival-minded garden. Crop number 3, sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are a marvel in the world of survival crops because they give you more than most plants ever could. Above the soil, their vines spill gracefully from containers, crawl across open spaces, and weave through garden beds like living threads of green. These vines aren't just ornamental. They carry edible leaves that can be harvested regularly for cooking. Beneath the soil lies the main treasure, the sweet, nutrient-rich tubers that swell silently throughout the season. Sweet potatoes thrive in heat, tolerate drought better than many plants, and reward you generously if you give them room to stretch. They don't rush. They develop slowly, storing nutrients and building volume that you can depend on for months. When the time comes to harvest, Each tuber feels heavy with promise. Once cured properly, sweet potatoes store for long periods, becoming a steady food source even when fresh produce is scarce. Their dual-purpose nature, greens above, tubers below, makes them one of the most powerful survival crops you can grow, transforming every inch of space into something edible. Crop number 4, cabbage. Cabbage stands as one of the most resilient vegetables you can grow in difficult times. From the moment its leaves begin to fold inward, curling layer upon layer into a solid, weighty head, the plant feels purposeful. Cabbage thrives in cooler weather, handling wind, rain, and fluctuating temperatures with surprising grace. Once fully formed, a cabbage head can be stored for weeks or even months in cool conditions, becoming an extended supply of crisp, nourishing leaves. This long storage life gives cabbage a unique advantage during difficult periods when fresh food may not be available or affordable. Whether you chop it into soups, cook it into hearty meals, or ferment it into sauerkraut that lasts all winter, cabbage adapts beautifully. Its durability and versatility make it one of the most reassuring crops you can grow, especially when uncertainty hangs heavy in the air. Crop number 5, carrots. Carrots are quiet workers in the garden. While other plants stretch proudly toward the sky, carrots concentrate their efforts underground, storing energy and sweetness in vibrant orange roots. Their feathery green tops sway gently, giving no hint of the treasure growing below. Carrots thrive in deep, loose soil and adapt easily to containers if given enough depth. They grow well in cooler temperatures and handle uneven weather without much complaint. What makes carrots especially valuable in tough times is their storage ability. When kept cool and unwashed, carrots last for long periods, providing a source of fresh produce even when the garden is resting. Pulling a carrot from the soil is one of the most satisfying experiences in gardening. The gentle resistance, the sudden release, and the dusty orange root in your hand remind you that your efforts have brought something nourishing into the world. Carrots don't boast or demand attention. They simply grow, steadily and quietly, offering nutrition and reliability when you need it most. Crop number 6, kale. Kale is a champion of endurance. Long after many plants have wilted, bolted, or collapsed under stress, kale stands firm. Its leaves are thick, textured, and deeply colored, symbols of the plant's resilience. Kale grows through heat, through cold, and even through unexpected frost. It requires little space and thrives in containers, garden beds, and even neglected corners of your yard. The cut-and-come-again nature of kale makes it especially valuable during difficult times. You can harvest the outer leaves as often as you need, and the inner leaves will keep growing. This cycle continues for months, sometimes stretching into a second season if conditions allow. Kale is rich in vitamins, minerals, and energy. It adds nutrition to soups, stews, salads, and meals that keep you strong. In times of hardship, kale becomes more than just a vegetable. It becomes a loyal companion, delivering nourishment with consistency and resilience. Crop number 7, onions. Onions have been essential in survival gardens for centuries because of their remarkable storage ability and culinary importance. They begin as slender green shoots, growing slowly and deliberately as they form their bulbs. Watching onions grow teaches patience. They develop on their own time, and they reward that patience with long-lasting food. Once harvested, onions can be stored for months, giving you flavor, depth, and nutrition when fresh produce becomes scarce. They transform simple meals into satisfying dishes. Even green onions, which grow faster and require less space, give you immediate harvests while you wait for the bulbs to mature. In difficult times, having onions on hand means you're never without the ability to cook flavorful, comforting meals. Their dependable nature makes them one of the most essential survival crops you can plant. Crop number 8, tomatoes. Tomatoes bring brightness and abundance to survival gardens. They begin as delicate seedlings and grow into vigorous plants that produce clusters of red, orange, yellow, or even purple fruits. There is something deeply uplifting about seeing tomatoes ripen during tough times. They bring color to your plate and energy to your body, offering vitamins, hydration, and flexibility in cooking. Cherry tomatoes, especially, are prolific producers that thrive in small spaces and containers. Larger varieties offer bulk and richness for sauces, stews, and preserved foods. One tomato plant can produce far more than you expect, especially when cared for with consistent water and sunlight. For survival gardening, tomatoes offer immediate rewards, long-term value, and the uplifting feeling that comes from watching fruit appear and ripen day after day. Crop number 9, squash. Squash plants grow with bold enthusiasm, their vines sprawling outward in every direction, creating a dense canopy of broad leaves. Beneath this canopy, the fruits take shape slowly and steadily. Summer squash produces quickly and abundantly, giving you fresh food all season long, while winter squash develops thick-skinned fruits that store beautifully for months. This dual nature makes squash one of the most versatile survival crops. The plants themselves are hardy and persistent, tolerating sun, heat, and imperfect conditions. When properly cured, winter squash can last through entire seasons, providing meals long after harvest time has passed. Each fruit holds significant calories, making squash a valuable staple during difficult periods when energy-rich foods are essential. Crop number 10, corn. Corn carries a sense of history with it. For thousands of years, communities have depended on this crop to provide sustenance and strength. Corn rises tall and confident, forming a small forest in your garden that brings structure and drama to the landscape. Each stalk produces 1 or 2 ears filled with kernels that can be eaten fresh, dried for storage, ground into meal, or used in countless dishes. Corn is more than just a vegetable. It's a staple crop that offers long-term security. Growing corn in blocks helps with pollination, and even a modest planting can produce a surprisingly large harvest. When dried and stored, corn becomes one of the most durable and reliable food sources for survival, linking modern gardeners to centuries of agricultural tradition. Crop number 11, essential herbs. Herbs may not seem like survival crops at first glance, but in difficult times, they become some of the most important plants in your garden. Basil, oregano, thyme, rosemary, sage, and mint bring flavor, aroma, and medicinal qualities to your meals. They grow well in limited spaces, thrive indoors or outdoors, and require minimal care. Herbs elevate simple meals into comforting dishes and offer wellness benefits that become incredibly valuable during stressful times. Their ability to grow quickly and regenerate after harvest makes them continuous contributors to your survival garden. In challenging periods, the difference between bland food and nourishing, flavorful meals can have a surprisingly deep emotional impact. Herbs ensure that even the simplest meals feel comforting and complete. Crop number 12, garlic. Garlic embodies quiet power. Each clove becomes a full bulb, multiplying your food supply year after year. Garlic plants grow with almost no demands, sending up slender green shoots as their bulbs swell beneath the soil. Once harvested, garlic stores exceptionally well and can last for many months when kept in cool, dry conditions. Its flavor enhances almost every savory dish, and its medicinal properties have been valued for generations. Growing garlic gives you independence from store availability and rising prices. It becomes a steady companion in your kitchen and your garden, offering taste, health, and security. Growing these 12 crops is more than an exercise in gardening. It's a journey toward resilience. In uncertain times, a survival garden offers peace of mind, nourishment, and a sense of purpose. Each sprout represents hope. Each harvest represents strength. And each plant becomes part of a system that supports you when the world feels unpredictable. As you explore these crops and begin planting your own survival garden, remember that the power of growing your own food lies not just in the harvest, but in the confidence it gives you to face whatever challenges come. Which of these 12 crops will you begin with? Tell me in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another episode from Daily Plant Life. Until next time, keep growing, keep preparing, and keep believing in the strength that comes from your garden.